Let's move on and say hello to our next guest for this evening. 6 years ago, he was studying Greek and Roman history. He has now sold over 14 million albums as the lead singer of band Coldplay. It was very exciting to have him pop in at the end of last week. Going to be hearing a bit of them later on from their album A Rush of Blood to the Head. But right now, we please welcome Martin from Coldplay. Tasty. Now, how are you with the...
It's my first chat show ever.
Ever by yourself, or just ever?
Yeah. I only found out about it 10 minutes ago.
You just turned up, thought you were going to sing. Well. And how are you? Are you okay? Is this nervous for you?
What, this?
Yeah.
This is much more nervous than playing, yeah.
Why is that?
Because I'm not very good at this.
Because people ask...
I'm very good at singing.
You are very good at singing.
I'm not, it's all machines.
Now, I saw you going for the jelly beans there. I know you've got a bit of a sweet tooth. Since you've been in our fair country, I know you're a bandit for chocolate. Have you found any... I know you've been to Australia before, but discovered any chocolate goodies while you're here?
Someone gave me a cherry thing yesterday. I don't know what it was.
Cherry ripe.
What do you think? It was good.
Yeah, different? Sure.
It wasn't great.
You like Maltesers?
I like Tim Tams.
Tim Tams are great, aren't they?
I had one of them. I found one in my fridge in our hotel in the middle of the night, and it saved my life. So
because you do, that's your only vice, isn't it? Chocolate.
Well, one of them. Chocolate and bondage.
You picked two that go very well together, so you've done okay.
Australian.
Yeah. Now, how does it feel for you now? I mean, the bands, the first album was such a huge hit, and the first single was such a huge hit. Does it feel like you've been living a dream the whole time? Because you haven't really had a chance to stop.
I know, I think it's only when we do stop that we realise how amazing everything is, you know? Because often when you're caught up in the flow of it all, you can start moaning or getting worried about really stupid things, and then you go home to your family, and then you realise you just toured America or something, and you know, when you're talking to someone who works in a fish shop, and it all kind of comes home then.
So have you had a chance to stop and take it in, or, I mean, there's a difference obviously for a band when they're starting out and there's club gigs and doing all of that, but for you guys to just explode on the scene, do you feel there's a learning process that you missed out on?
No, I mean, we can't complain about anything, you know. I don't think we missed out on anything. I think we try and take it all as much as possible while we're doing it, because the first time round on the first album, everything was a bit of a blur. So when we came up with this one, we sort of consciously tried to, you know, soak it all up a bit better. Now, I didn't really answer the question because I forgot what it was.
Your band has been described as nice fellows who would never wreck a hotel room.
Really?
How do you take the description of being called nice guys?
I mean, who cares, you know? People would chuck all sorts of stuff around, you know? And we could be called a lot worse.
Would you prefer it to be called a bunch of pricks or something?
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's nothing worse than what we were called at school, you know?
Which is?
I mean, you know, various things to do with being very good looking, and people tease you for being too handsome, you know?
You must get that quite a lot.
All the time.
It's a burden for me.
Not as much as our bass player, Guy. Is it a burden for you?
Yeah, Guy gets it quite a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's the most handsome member of Coldplay.
They're all hot. Johnny's hot, Will's hot, you're all hot.
We're all hot, but he's like...
The hottest.
He's boiling.
You can't touch him, he's white hot.
He just sort of sits at the back and gets the female audience attention. Which we get kind of the heavy metal heads.
Now, Noel Gallagher is someone who, I mean, you grew up being a fan of Oasis. He's someone who said if ever he was going to pass the torch, Coldplay's the band he'd be happy to pass it to. How do you feel about that?
Did he really say that, though?
Yes. He told me himself.
Really?
Yes, I was on the phone to him last week. He said, when Chris comes on...
Tell him he can have the torch?
Yes.
Okay. I had a torch, but it broke. It wasn't from Noel. I mean, what does that mean?
I think it means, you know, that he loves what you guys do.
No, you're behind, because they hate us now.
Oh, they
you can never tell with the Gallagher. I mean, we love Oasis, but we never quite know if they like us or not. Which is good. I mean, it's good to be kept on your toes. But he's never given us a torch. Have another bean.
Have another bean, by all means. Now, you and I had...
Has anyone ever finished those beans?
I want this interview to go to you have eaten
bean.
every single one, and that'll be our final shot, is you eating the last bean. Now, you and I have something in common. I don't know how you feel about talking about this, but we both have a fear of losing our hair.
Okay.
Because I've discovered, I'm 29, I'm discovering there's a little spot right there, which I say to my makeup lady, she says to me it's a scar, and there's no hair growing out of it. I keep saying, don't lie to me, I need to know if I'm losing it.
Right.
I know it's something that you worry about too,
I mean, you know, it's either that or worrying about death. So, I worry about losing my hair. I mean, it's still there.
It's all still there, okay.
I mean, the great thing is when you see Michael Stipe, then you think, oh, it's fine, doesn't matter.
You still apologise and wear a hat.
You ever heard of Right Said Fred?
Yes.
Them. See, we're like them, but with more sort of music.
With more than just one hit.
No. In England they've had 3 or 4, but they've had more than us in England. But hopefully we'll look as good as that when we're all bald. But at the moment we look fine. We've got plenty of hair.
Now,
we always like to plan ahead and worry about the future.
It's a good idea. It's always a good thing to do.
But you're fine, by the way.
Am I?
You can always get a weave, or like the guy in the reception here.
Got a nice weave.
That photograph of that guy.
Oh, right.
Don't say who it is. I don't know who it is, but there's someone with.
We'll just leave it at that. That's actually neat. Now, the album's fantastic. Now, my favourite single off the album is The Scientist, which is your forthcoming single. It will be out soon. Now, you've got a clip for that, which I'm not sure how many people have seen it, but we've actually got a bit of it here. This is The Scientist. Have a listen.
There are 4 of us in our band.
Oh, yes.
No one else likes doing video.
Now,
where am I looking down here?
the whole thing is the whole clip is played in reverse, but you're actually singing the lyrics, so that must mean that you learnt them all backwards.
I mean, learned is a bit broad. I mean, I attempted to do it all backwards, but I'm